Hello, everyone, and welcome to step one of building a dog house. We're going to use a bunch of tools that I've already taught you about in order to create this quick model of a dog house. For the purposes of this exercise, we do not need to make any specific measurements like we learned about last week. We're just going to create a quick model. The first step in creating your model is to delete your little person on your screen. So get rid of that guy or girl that's standing there. And then we are going to simply draw a rectangle on the ground. So using the rectangle tool, I'm going to draw a nice big rectangle on the ground. Doesn't matter how big it is, however comfortable you are with making it is fine. Once we have that rectangle, we're going to push and pull it up with the push-pull tool. Remember, those dots mean that you are selecting that face of the rectangle. So when you click once, you'll drag it up, click again, and it stops. Now I made it really big. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Okay. Now that I have this three-dimensional box, we're going to draw a little roof on our doghouse. And we're going to do that simply by using the line tool. So we're going to take the pen tool and we're actually going to draw lines up to make a roof, but we're going to make them within the box that we've already created. So you'll notice that your pen tool has this little box at the tip, and if you move around, it shows you it's kind of sticky. It wants to stick to all of these lines, so it tells you where it is. Here it's telling you that your pen is on the edge right there. Here, that blue square means it's on face. That means it's on the side, this side of the box. And then here it's on this face, here it's on this face, but here it's on the edge, here it's on the edge. You can be on the edge back here. When you get to a light blue circle like this, that's the midpoint. So SketchUp is very easily telling you where the midpoint of your box is. It's hard to tell on our own because we're at a weird angle because this is a three-dimensional environment. So when I take my pen tool, I'm going to go to the top of this front of this is going to be the doghouse. This is the front. I'm going to click at the midpoint, and then I'm going to draw a line all the way until this becomes a red box. That means it's on the edge. Doesn't really matter where I am. I'm going to make it somewhere kind of in the middle right here. Okay, now there's my line. Now that I've drawn one line, I'm going to draw another one starting at the same spot. So right here, it's going to stick to the end of my other line. I'm going to click, and you'll notice if you draw, it tells you, it shows you a nice little red dotted line so that I know that those are even. They're ending at the same place on each side. So if I click there, now I know those are symmetrical. So now this is where it gets really cool. I can actually use the push-pull tool again. And if I click inside these little triangles I've created here and I push and pull backwards, it actually cuts out that section of my box. I can do the same thing on this side all the way to the end. You don't want to go too far. When you see those dotted lines again, click. And now I actually have a pitched roof on top of my doghouse. Now, in order for a dog to be able to get in here, I need to create a doorway. So we're going to use the rectangle tool again to create that doorway. So same thing with the pen tool. When you draw a rectangle, it has those same little marks. There's midpoint, that's on the edge. This is on the face of my doghouse. So I'm going to draw a rectangle, and again, measurements don't matter this time. So I'm going to click here, draw across, and I go up a little further. Right there is good. I'm going to click again. Now I have a rectangle. We're going to create a doorway out of this. But if you've ever seen a doghouse, typically the opening of the doghouse is rounded. So I'm going to show you a new tool that's going to round this off for me. I'm going to use this right here. So this is the arc tool. I want to do a 2-point arc. It's important that you select this one, otherwise it's not going to work the way you want it to. So select the 2-point arc, and this is going to allow you to select 2 points to create your arc from. So see how it's sticking, the green dot is sticking at the end of my line. So I'm going to click at that point, I'm going to click at this point, and then as I start to move this up, it creates an arc in between. So I'm going to go up as high as I want, click again. Now I have this nice rounded opening for my doggy. I want to get rid of it though, so that my dog can actually go inside the doghouse. So before I push and pull this away, I'm just going to erase this line right in between here. There we go. Now I have a nice opening. Now I can go back to the push-pull tool and get rid of that. And if I orbit around now, I can see that my dog could go all the way through. So that is step 1 of creating your dog house. Please go to the next video once you're ready to see how we can slap on some paint.